Alright, now comes the really cool part about Blender. What we're going to do is we're going to sculpt this low polygon model to make a high polygon version, and then we're going to use that version to bake out the ambient occlusion and the normal map and the height map. Now I need to prepare the model just a little bit. What we're going to do is I'm just going to subdivide it just a little bit. So I'm going to use Control R. Actually, Control Z, just do that again, and a scroll wheel to give me a few more cuts. So I've just cut this a few more times to leave some extra points. Now, don't need to worry because the UVs remain the same and the image all still fits, but it just gives me a few more cuts. And I'm also going to cut around here. Do that again, don't forget the scroll wheel. So yeah, maybe just that one cut right there, and that just evens up the squares so that when I do subdivide with the multi-res it doesn't munt it up too much. So I do have a few cuts in this model, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to apply the modifier that I need in order to start doing the sculpting. Now the modifiers are under this spanner tab up on the top right hand side, so I'm going to click on the spanner. I'm going to click Add Modifier and I'm going to choose Multi-Resolution. Now the Multi-Res modifier is pretty cool. It allows you to subdivide the object but keep the base mesh as visible, so that the modifier can be removed without ruining the mesh. And what all you do is we'll go into Object Mode. You can choose either cat mul or simple for the subdivision type, and then you just click on subdivide. Now you'll see what happens with this model. I have managed, it has smoothed out these edges too much, so I think I need to use simple for this subdivision. I could, if I wanted, to bevel these edges a little bit, and then or put another cut really close to the edge here, so it would stop it from deforming when it does that, but I'm just going to leave it as simple. This will work better with less of a square shape. If I was to smooth it out a little bit, it would be better. I'm going to use simple and it'll work. I'm going to subdivide it to about 7, maybe 6 or 7. And what that's done is it's starting to slow down even on this computer here. So there's actually a heck of a lot of polygons that are visible, or sorry, that have been created because of this. It gives me a really high level of detail without you actually seeing it, and already it's starting to slow down my computer, and this is a pretty powerful computer. So I'm going to do some sculpting now, and I'm just going to show you how it works. So I'm just going to get rid of this this UV window. The preview is different to the sculpt and the render. So in sculpt mode, if I go into sculpt mode, you'll see the high resolution version right here. Now the Sculpt Tools are here as well. There's a whole bunch of tools for drawing, smoothing, for creasing, for blobbing. These tools you just need to get used to. I'm just going to use a nice and simple Sculpt Draw. I'm going to choose between adding and subtracting. Now the radius and strength can be set from here. So you don't need to use any of the shortcut keys. You can just straight away go from there, and what happens is you just basically get to draw and put lumps in. Now you'll notice by default this new version of Blender, it's actually got a symmetry between the X, and that's part of the Sculpt Tools. So I'm going to go down here to where it says symmetry and make sure I'm going to switch off the X symmetry, because I actually want to have different things at different sides. So I'm just going to push, click a little bit, push out, and push in with the subtract tool. Push this one in. The closer you go in, the smaller the cuts will be. And I'm just going to stuff around with this just to make it just take shape a little bit. So I'll put a little dents and bumps and lumps in here. I'm going to pause the video now, and we're going to keep going with that, and I'll let you see the end result when I'm done. So yeah, I've played around a little bit with this one. I've added in some bumps and lumps. The sculpting itself is actually, there's a whole bunch of tutorials online. It's actually a bit of a skill in its own. So just you just need a lot of practice with it if you're going to get very good at it. I just wanted to just rough something up so you could have a little look. So I'm just going to bring myself out on my UV window now. Now that I've got that, so I'm going to change this window to the UV image editor and go back into my mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to bake out some of these textures. So based on this multi-res that we had, so if I go into sculpt mode, you see the high resolution version of this mesh. Inside object mode, you'll see the low resolution, and the reason for that is because the preview that we see here, I'm going to change this down to the low resolution. You'll see how the resolution changes in here as you get fewer polygons. We want this preview to be set to 0. This is really important because the what it bakes out is this version compared to this version. Okay, when you save the model, you're actually saving this number of polygons, and you don't want to save hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of polygons for a very simple model like this. You want to have it saved as the lowest level of detail that you can. So let's get straight to baking. So we're going to go to the textures, make sure we're in object. We're going to go on to the normal map right now. So I've clicked on the normal map here. I'm going to go into edit mode very quickly to change to the normal map here, and then I'm going to go out back into object mode. Now that's important. For some reason it doesn't work unless you go back out into object mode in order to bake the texture. So I am in object mode right here, but I do have the normal map selected here and the normal map selected here. So that's the target to bake to. Now the bake is in the little camera. So if you click on the camera, the render settings, and you go all the way to the bottom, hiding down the bottom here is this bake button, and then all of the options that you might want to bake out. So one of them, change the full render out to normals, and then it asks us if we want to bake from multi-res, which is exactly what we want to do, bake from multi-res, and then you just literally hit bake, and you'll see that what it's done is it's created this the normal map for the UVs of the model. Now that's pretty cool, nice and simple. We need to make sure that we save this image. Now remember, we have saved them all already. Mine's are all with underscore and then the name of the type of the image. So I've got the diffuse already saved, and now I've just baked and saved the normals. We need to repeat the process for the other ones as well. So I'll go into the texture. This time I'm going to do the height map. So I will click on height. We'll go into edit mode. We will change our target to height. Then for some strange reason you have to go back into object mode again. Then we go back to our bake. We go down, select from the bake mode the, what was I doing again? Oh yeah, displacement. Then click on the, make sure that bake from multi-res is here, and click bake, and you'll see that the target has been set to this one, and obviously with the bake, the height is darker is lower and lighter is higher. So you can see the raised areas are whiter and the dark areas are lower, and Unity will use that when we put that in as part of our texture. So once again, save that image, and I click save all images just so that I'm doubling up, and then we'll go through the process one more time. So we click on the image, I'm going to choose Ambient Occlusion, go into edit mode, select my target as the Ambient Occlusion, go back into object mode again, then making sure the target is here, set the bake target from displacement to Ambient Occlusion, bake from multi-res, and click bake, and it'll target this. The ambient occlusion, by the way, if you don't know, is the light and dark areas based on the geometry that you have here. So it just adds a little bit extra detail to where the lumps and bumps might be. So this bakes out my ambient occlusion for me. Now here we go. I'm just going to save all of these images. What I now have is all of my textures have been created by Unity based on the sculpted multi-res model that I have, and in the modifier here, as long as I have my preview set to the lowest possible value, it should manage to create these high-res textures based on this multi-res. Now make sure that this is done. It's a mistake of a lot of people in Blender to get this set to the same as the render and the sculpt, and then they wonder why this comes up blank. So make sure that this preview level is set to 0, and this will also help when you export. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly pause the video one more time, and I'm going to put this into, in fact no, what I'll do is I'll create one more video for you. In the next video I'll show you how to get all of these textures into your model in Unity.